professionals here and a lot of younger people, so it's a good chance to, for people like me who are starting to go into the professional world, to talk to people who have a little more experience.
CAUSE is a great organization that promotes civic awareness in the Asian American community, and I think Asian Americans aren't as active in politics and civic involvement as some of the other ethnicities.
The most important thing that we learn sometimes is doing what I'm doing right now, learning how to speak and to present to people. Those of you who are lawyers, and I think most are here, folks who are in academia like myself before. But the most important lesson you can learn is not learning how to speak, but learning how to listen. Whether it's a court case you're preparing for and you actually listen to the elements of that before you come and make your arguments, whether it's me as an elected official going door to door and talking to people and actually asking them, what do you want to see for your city? If we have a city that begins to, and a world that begins to understand the importance of doing that, we will see where we have the gaps, we will see where we have the holes, we will see who doesn't have representation, and we will see what our work is to be done.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out here. It's always great to see so many people from the community gather together. These events are good not only as a way for all of us in the community to come together, but also for me to sort of get beyond the day-to-day press of business and actually think about why it's important that we are active in the community.
It's fantastic that you're here, because one of the things as I went through the appointment process that was very frustrating for me to see was the fact that there were very few minorities who were involved. So as you're looking ahead and thinking, how can I map, where can I go, how can I best get to the next step, always remember that there's people behind you, because those ahead of you did not break through glass ceilings in order for the ceiling to just shut. You need to have continuous movement in order for that to affect change, because if you don't do that, you go right back and the glass ceiling comes back in place.
I always knew that I was interested in politics and public service. So that's something my dad encouraged. And I was told that if you go to law school, it opens a lot of doors. So that was, decided I wanted to go to law school. I also learned that I couldn't go to med school because I really wasn't good enough at math and science. And my parents said those are two options you have. So that's very traditional, old school parents.
But I do want to start with Ken. I mean, one of the reasons we asked Ken to speak is really about his experience at the White House and selecting appointees like Judge G and like Deborah Yang, and how appointments are impacted by the political and community involvement of the candidates.
Obviously, the first thing that's important is just qualifications, that the person has right experience, whether it means being at a law firm, having a prior judicial experience in the state court, or as a federal magistrate judge, or a federal prosecutor. So that there's that baseline that you have the proper experience.
Any advice that they would have on career choices and paths and challenges as it relates to being an Asian American woman in the practice of law?
Well, as Deb mentioned earlier, Asian women tend to look young. And when you combine that with the fact that we're relatively short in stature, that adds to the impression that we're very young and innocent and that we don't know what we're doing. When I first started practicing, my friends told me that I looked like I was 12.
You did.
And so I was in a field, I was a union labor lawyer, and so you can imagine the kinds of clients that I had. I was representing meat cutters and retail clerks and auto workers and steel workers, and when I would come into the room for the first time, there was an alien experience to them because they'd never seen an Asian woman who was a union labor lawyer before. Basically, what you have to do is not buy into the stereotype. Don't show a lack of confidence. Just show them that you know what you're doing and that you know your stuff, and pretty soon all of those preliminary biases and stereotypes will melt away.
I work at a large law firm right now. It's a gift because I see these amazing kids coming in, young lawyers through the summer programs, as first-year lawyers who are Asian, that honestly, when I look at their resumes, it makes me cry because I'm so happy.
We know how busy all of you are, so thank you so much for your time.
really inspirational, and I think it's great for all lawyers, doesn't matter you're young or old, to learn about what they have done for in this legal profession.
I love these events because it's an opportunity for the community to get together and for people to connect with old friends, and I thought this was a terrific event, and I really enjoyed hearing the other speakers. I'm not too sure about myself. I don't really remember what I had to say, but hopefully it was of some use to the people in the audience. But thank you to Cause for sponsoring a great program. Keep up the good work.